The following is a Hennessy Hendo production. It includes excerpts and material from my vast collection of books and general knowledge. Please share the videos, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.
Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found. There are two iconic works by Lewis Carroll, the pen name of Charles Lutwidge Dodgson. Both books are celebrated for their whimsical storytelling, imaginative characters, and their exploration of themes such as identity, logic, and the nature of reality. Below is a detailed synopsis of each book. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, 1865. Overview. This novel follows a young girl named Alice, who falls through a rabbit hole into a fantastical world populated by peculiar and anthropomorphic creatures. The story is noted for its dreamlike narrative and use of logic puzzles and nonsensical themes, showcasing Carroll's background in mathematics and logic. Detailed synopsis. 1. The beginning. The story begins as Alice, a young, curious girl, sits by a riverbank with her sister. She sees a white rabbit wearing a waistcoat and muttering to itself about being late. Intrigued, she follows the rabbit and falls down a deep rabbit hole. 2. Down the rabbit hole. Alice's fall takes her into a room with a small door leading to a beautiful garden. However, she is too big to pass through the door. She finds a bottle labeled "Drink Me," which makes her shrink, and a cake marked "Eat Me," which makes her grow enormously. 3. Encounters with Wonderland's inhabitants. The Pool of Tears. Alice cries when she becomes large again, creating a pool of tears. She shrinks and finds herself swimming in her own tears alongside a host of animals. The Caucus Race and the Dodo. The group participates in a nonsensical race where everyone wins. Meeting the White Rabbit. Alice encounters the White Rabbit again and ends up in his house, where drinking another potion makes her grow uncontrollably. Advice from the Caterpillar. Alice meets a hookah-smoking caterpillar who gives cryptic advice and tells her about the effects of eating from a mushroom that can change her size. The Cheshire Cat. Alice meets a grinning Cheshire Cat who can disappear at will and points her toward the March Hare's house. 4. Mad Tea Party. At the March Hare's house, Alice participates in an absurd tea party with the Mad Hatter and the Dormouse. Their conversation is riddled with riddles and illogical statements, exemplifying the nonsensical nature of Wonderland. 5. The Queen's Croquet Ground. Alice arrives at the Queen of Hearts croquet game, which is played with flamingos as mallets and hedgehogs as balls. The Queen is notorious for shouting, "Off with their heads!" at anyone who displeases her. 6. The Trial. The climax of the story involves a trial over the theft of the Queen's tarts, where Alice is called as a witness. The proceedings are chaotic and nonsensical, reflecting Wonderland's illogical legal system. Alice eventually grows in size and challenges the Queen's authority, declaring that the inhabitants of Wonderland are just a pack of cards. 7. The ending. Alice's realization leads to her waking up and finding herself back on the riverbank with her sister, concluding that her adventure was only a dream. Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There, 1871. Overview. This sequel to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland takes Alice through a mirror into a world that is a fantastical reflection of her own. The narrative is structured like a chess game, with Alice moving through different squares to become a queen. This book features wordplay, poetry, and parodies, showcasing Carroll's linguistic creativity. Detailed synopsis. 1. Alice steps through the looking glass. Alice is at home, contemplating the world beyond the looking glass, mirror. She steps through it and finds herself in a mirrored version of her world where logic and norms are reversed. 2. The chess game structure. Alice embarks on a journey that follows the movements of a chess game, with her goal being to progress from a pawn to a queen. 3. Notable encounters. The Garden of Live Flowers. Alice meets talking flowers that make cheeky remarks. The Red Queen. Alice meets the Red Queen, who explains the rules of the chess game and tells Alice she will become a queen if she reaches the 8th square. Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Alice meets the twins who recite the poem The Walrus and the Carpenter and engage in a quarrel that never truly ends. 4. The adventures continue. Humpty Dumpty. Alice encounters Humpty Dumpty, who engages in a conversation filled with wordplay and explains the meaning of the poem Jabberwocky. The White Knight. Alice is helped by the White Knight, an eccentric figure who invents impractical items and symbolizes chivalry. 5. Poetry and parody. The book contains famous poems such as Jabberwocky, a nonsensical poem full of invented words, and The Walrus and the Carpenter, which carries deeper themes of deception and betrayal. Carroll also parodies traditional nursery rhymes and Victorian culture, reflecting his wit and social critique. 6. Becoming a Queen. Alice finally reaches the 8th square and becomes a queen. The Red Queen and White Queen engage Alice in a bizarre and chaotic feast, filled with riddles and paradoxes. 7. Final confrontation and awakening. The feast ends in chaos, and Alice seizes the Red Queen, shaking her until she turns into a kitten. Alice awakens to find herself holding her cat and realizes she has been dreaming. The book ends with Alice contemplating whether she dreamed her journey or if the Red King, whom she met during her adventure, had dreamed of her. Themes and significance. Both books are lauded for their inventive use of language, logical puzzles, and satire. They explore themes such as identity and self-discovery. Alice's journey is both physical and metaphorical, representing a child's navigation of an adult world. Absurdity and logic. Carroll's use of paradox, whimsy, and logical fallacies challenges readers' perceptions of normality and reality. Power and authority. The figures. Alice encounters, from the Queen of Hearts to Humpty Dumpty, display power in bizarre and arbitrary ways, highlighting the absurdity of hierarchical structures. Legacy. Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass have become timeless classics, influencing literature, art, psychology, and popular culture. Their rich symbolism, humor, and commentary on Victorian society have kept them relevant and fascinating to readers of all ages for over a century. Thank you for watching. Please share the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Check out other series including 10-minute synopses or complete audiobooks on Hennessy Hendo on YouTube. Improve your vocabulary. Be more fun at parties. Increase your knowledge. Become a literary master like Hendo.